evening and welcome to Hungary Report, starting off public media and once foreign language news hour. I'm Csenge Gabriela Iboya with today's news from Hungary and the Carpathian Basin. Let's begin. There's only 1 week left till the European parliamentary elections. Next Sunday here in Hungary, more than 8 million people will decide who shall represent Hungary in the EU Parliament in the upcoming 5 years. According to fresh surveys, more people are interested about the elections than before. Numbers show that every second Hungarian will go and vote next week. The minister in charge of the Prime Minister's office said on Kossuth Radio, since the beginning of the migration crisis, the people of Europe have not had yet a chance to voice their opinions regarding illegal migration.
Migration was one of the main topics lead candidates discussed in Brussels on Thursday. 10,000s of people gathered in Milan on Saturday to listen to Matteo Salvini and other European anti-migration politicians at the Northern League political party's final campaign. The Italian Interior Minister said May 26 will be the revolution of common sense and Europe will once again lift up its head. According to analysts, migration is also one of the most important topics of the European parliamentary campaign in Hungary. The leading analyst of the Center for Fundamental Rights told M1 News a lot more people are interested in Europe's future now than during previous elections. He thinks Hungarians really understand that this year's election truly matters. This is also proven by the most recent surveys, which suggest that every second citizen will vote on Sunday. First, the question of migration, and second, the fate of Europe's future will be decided, István Póca said. On Kossuth Radio, Gergely Gulyás, head of the Prime Minister's office, said the EP elections have never had such significance. Gergely Gulyás added the elections are important because since the beginning of the migration crisis, European people have not had the chance to voice their opinions about illegal migration, which happens to be a huge security risk to the entire continent.
The European elections are also important when it comes to the future of indigenous minorities in Europe, said Katalin Szili in Washington, where she took part in the Hungarian ball. As the ministerial commissioner put it, it is very important for the Hungarians living there to preserve Europe's Christian roots. She added that it is important that all Hungarians living in the United States should go and vote as well.
A concert, a folk dance show, a raffle and scouts dancing their first ball. Nearly 200 people took part in this year's Hungarian Ball in Washington, which is organized by the Hungarian Heritage House every year. At the event, the Prime Minister's Commissioner, Katalin Szili, emphasized that only a strong Europe can be a strategic partner of the US. That's why it's very important that such leaders get into the European Parliament who stand for a Europe of nations.
Amerika is nagy figyelemmel kíséri, hogy mi történik Európában.
The US also pays great attention to the happenings in Europe. I personally think, and that's what I've heard from the Hungarians living here, that it's very important that Europe preserves its Christian roots and Hungarians keep their Hungarian identity, said the Commissioner. Katalin Szili added that for the first time in many years, this is the best opportunity to strengthen Hungarian-American relations. And Prime Minister Viktor Orbán's Monday visit can be regarded as a further milestone in this. Awards of the American-Hungarian Heritage House Washington were handed over as well. Professors of the Marymount University and the Széchenyi University in Győr were given rewards for launching the educational cultural program between the two universities.
Having dual degrees that can be offered between both universities,
said the president of the university in Washington. The donations that were collected at the ball are meant to be used for American scholarships for students. Not just Hungarians living in Hungary, but also Hungarians living outside the borders are meant to be supported. Our aim is to bring students from Transcarpathia, the Highlands, Vojvodina and Transylvania, not just for about 6 months, but for longer, 2 or 4 years, for an undergraduate or a master's degree, the president of the Hungarian House said. László Szabó, ambassador of Hungary to the United States, also received an acknowledgement for enhancing the relation between American and Hungarian institutions. This charity ball also aims to keep Hungarian initiatives strong and to contribute to Hungarian children finding it interesting to learn Hungarian and to become familiar with Hungarian culture, said the ambassador. László Szabó added, it is important that not only Hungarians but also Americans participate in the ball who like and are familiar with Hungarian culture.
Hungarian flavors took over the weekend in many different settlements. At Nyarsapad, the Day of Hungarian Cuisine was celebrated traditionally with paprika stew, Hungarian ratatouille and langos. While in Budapest, it was modern Hungarian cuisine that took center stage at the Gourmet Festival.
Paprikás, a sort of stew, is being prepared by the Vojvodinian team in Nyíregyháza on the Day of Hungarian Cuisine. The 50 competitors participating in the cooking competition arrived from all over the world, including the Carpathian Basin, Australia, Africa, and South America. Lovers of Hungarian cuisine could choose from many different foods. Those visiting this year's Gourmet Festival on the very last day could also try the best of Hungarian cuisine. Children were taught the basics of cooking, while adults could pick and choose from the different restaurants, confectionaries, wineries, and breweries. Next to the foods prepared from Hungarian ingredients, visitors could also try foods from Japan, China, Italy, and Germany. Bread baking could also be tried out, and interesting facts were revealed about the use of paprika and pork foods. This was showcased by 2 Michelin-starred chefs. Ádám Mészáros emphasized it's important to constantly renew and update Hungarian cuisine. With this, we can help ingredients take center stage, as well as help producers. And our other task is to reinforce each other to get to a new milestone, which can then spread through the world, so that people will be able to better recognize and place Hungary, said Ádám Mészáros. More and more Hungarian chefs are gaining international success, according to experts not only in Hungarian cuisine, but also in the whole world. At this year's Gourmet Festival, you could taste dishes that were dreamed up by Tamás Szél, who won the European finals of the Bocuse d'Or 3 years ago, one of the most prestigious chef competitions in the world.
Foods, weapons and clothing from the time of the Pannonian Avars could be enjoyed during a special day at Debrecen's Dairy Museum. During the Avar Day, they wanted to showcase what life was like before the Hungarian conquest in the Carpathian Basin around 500 AD.
Even the smallest ones could try out the emblematic weapon of the Avars, the spear. Or they could put on the almost 20-kilogram armor worn for protection. On the Dairy Museum's Avar Day, families could also look around in yurts. And at the handcraft corner, children could take part in felt making and could learn why this material was good for making yurts. The felt served as the perfect material for yurts as it was waterproof and kept the warmth inside, said the teacher of the museum. The purpose of the Avar Day, connected to the exhibition called Round World, was to familiarize visitors with the lives of the nomadic tribe in an interactive way. Avars arrived in the Carpathian Basin in the 6th century and lived here until the Hungarians arrived too. They were a fairly combative folk, came from Asia and maintained a big livestock, said an archaeologist. On Avar Day, the lunch also resembled a meal people living here could have been eating between the 6th and 10th centuries. With the help of technology, visitors could also get first-hand information from the last Avar soldier, how they lived. The Round World exhibition will be open to visitors until the 5th of June.
A special little baby llama was introduced to the visitors in the zoo of Pécs. One of the parents of the little llama is brown, while the other one is white, which makes the baby multicolored. The origins of llamas is from the Andes. Thanks to trade and domestications, it can now be found in North America, Europe and Australia. Just like other camelids, the llama is characterized by a long neck and limbs. The Kittenberger-Kálmán Wildlife Park, 15 kilometers from Lake Balaton, awaits visitors in Veszprém throughout the year. Here's one of Hungary's most beautiful and largest African savanna runs, with zebras, impalas and rhino families. Chimpanzees and baboons entertain the visitors. The water world is also gravely popular, where penguins and seals can be admired. And that's all for now, but don't forget you can catch Hungary Reports every night after 11 p.m. news and online as always. Do stick around and watch our German, Russian and Chinese language news. Thank you for watching and have a lovely evening.